Hey, what's up, English learners? Welcome along to 5 Lesson Friday. I'm Ajarn Ken, and today we've got something really awesome for you. Every single Friday, we drop 5 short but powerful lessons that's really going to boost your English skills fast. And today we're diving into must-know idioms and expressions that are really going to help you with your professional English, whether it's for IELTS exams, interviews, or just generally better and more confident conversations. Now, each video is packed with tips and tricks, and you definitely don't want to miss it. So if you can, hit the subscribe button, you can smash the like button and share this with all of your friends who are learning English. If you've got any questions or topics you want me to cover, drop them in the comments below and get in touch, and I'll do my best for you. And also, don't forget to visit fluesl.com, Fluesl.com, and there you can take short practice lessons and quizzes for 5 Lesson Friday that will really reinforce what you've just learned. So, alrighty then, when we're ready, if you're ready, let's jump in to lesson number 1. Have you ever heard of something that seemed just that little bit too good to be true? That's when you might want to take it with a pinch of salt. A pinch of salt. Hi there. So today we're going to be looking at this very useful idiom, to take something with a pinch of salt. Have you ever been skeptical about something you've heard? Unsure and uncertain? If so, you took it with a pinch of salt. Now, this idiom is perfect for describing caution when evaluating or considering some information. So let's have a look at a couple of examples. If you can imagine that someone tends to exaggerate, you could say, he tends to exaggerate, so I take his stories with a pinch of salt. This indicates skepticism about truthfulness in his stories. You could take it with a pinch of salt or a large pinch of salt. So he tends to exaggerate, so I take his stories with a pinch of salt. Another example is about reading perhaps online reviews for online shopping or for buying something online. For example, if you look at this sentence, when reading online reviews, it's wise to take them with a pinch of salt. When reading online reviews, it's wise to take them with a pinch of salt. And this will advise caution when believing what is read online. So when reading online reviews, it's wise to take them with a pinch of salt. When you're reading them, just be a little bit cautious about whether they're true or not. So there's a couple of examples. Let's look at how you can use this in like an IELTS exam or just general everyday conversations. In an IELTS speaking test, you might describe how you approach uncertain information. For example, I always take gossip with a pinch of salt because it's often exaggerated. I always take gossip with a pinch of salt because it's often exaggerated. Exaggerated means that they're telling you something and they're making the situation bigger than what it actually is. They're exaggerating it. So if you use that, I always take gossip with a pinch of salt. This shows the examiner that you can express skepticism very effectively. And in everyday conversations, you might talk about being cautious with information. You could say, take what he says with a pinch of salt. He likes to embellish the truth. Take what he says with a pinch of salt. He likes to embellish the truth. Just means that he likes to exaggerate the truth, or he likes to make the truth a big thing when really it's only a small thing from what he's saying. So have a bit of caution and take it with a pinch of salt. So take what he says with a pinch of salt. He likes to embellish the truth. So using this idiom not only makes your English sound much more natural, but also adds a thoughtful and cautious touch to your English skills. So let's have a look at some synonyms and antonyms. Synonyms for take it with a pinch of salt. Synonyms being similar vocabulary could be skeptical and doubt what you hear. So they're very, very similar, but take it with a pinch of salt adds a much more idiomatic and colourful expression of your doubt. On the other hand, antonyms, the opposites, might include phrases such as believe fully or trust completely. Now, obviously, these expressions describe situations where skepticism and doubt are not applied. So, next time you want to express some caution when evaluating or considering some information, remember to say you're taking it with a pinch of salt. It's a really excellent way to express doubt, and it will really impress your listeners when you're having a conversation with them. Have you ever made a mistake? But you have to face the consequences. Sometimes you just have to face the music. So we're going to be looking at this very, very strong idiom, to face the music. Have you ever had to deal with the consequences of your actions? If so, you've had to face the music. Now, this idiom, to face the music, is really perfect for describing situations where someone must confront the results of their actions. They must confront the consequences of their actions. So let's have a look at a couple of examples to put it into some sort of sentence for you. Imagine someone you know who's broken the rules. You could say he broke the rules, now he has to face the music. He's broke the rules, now he has to face the music. And this describes someone dealing with the consequences of their actions. He broke the rules, and now he has to face the music. You see how it really describes someone who has to accept the consequences? It's a really great idiom. Another example is about accepting responsibility. It's time to face the music and accept responsibility for what has happened. It's time to face the music and accept responsibility for what happened. Now, this suggests that it's necessary to confront the reality of a situation. No, you're not going to forget it. You're not going to forget what's happened. You have to confront it and face the music. So it's time to face the music and accept responsibility for what happened. So let's have a look how we can use this idiom in an IELTS exam or to really up your conversation skills. In an IELTS writing task, you might have to describe a situation where someone had to deal with consequences. For example, after the mistake was made, the company had to face the music and fix the problem. After the mistake was made, the company had to face the music and fix the problem. And in an IELTS exam, this will show the examiner you can describe responsibility and consequences effectively. After the mistake was made, the company had to face the music and fix the problem. And in everyday conversations, you might talk about someone needing to accept the outcome of their actions, to accept the result of their actions. You could say, now the truth is out, you'll have to face the music. Now the truth is out, you'll have to face the music. You'll have to confront, you'll have to face the consequences of his action. So this idiom, as you can see, not only makes your English sound really so natural, but also adds a very powerful and dramatic touch to your language. So let's explore some synonyms and antonyms. Synonyms for face the music could be or include accept the consequences and deal with it. They are very similar expressions, but face the music adds a much more idiomatic and dramatic expression. On the other hand, we've got antonyms. The opposites might include phrases such as avoid responsibility or escape the consequences. As you can imagine, these expressions describe situations where someone does not confront the results of their actions. They're not facing the music. So there we have it. Next time you want to describe accepting the consequences of an action, remember to say you're going to face the music. It's a great way to impress during a conversation and adds a lot of flair to your language. Have you ever heard about something that cannot be changed? It cannot be changed. That's what we call set in stone. Set in stone. So we're going to be looking at this very, very firm phrase, to set something in stone. Have you ever encountered a rule or a decision that was completely unchangeable? We could not change it. If so, it was set in stone. As you can see, it's a perfect phrase, perfect idiom for describing something that is permanent and unchangeable. So let's have a look at a couple of examples. Imagine you're discussing a schedule that's still very flexible. You could say the schedule is not set in stone. There's still some room for adjustments. The schedule is not set in stone. There's still some room for adjustments. And this indicates that the schedule can be changed. Okay, it's not set in stone. It can be changed. So this set in stone, it really helps to convey the idea of permanence, something being permanent. Another example is about a contract. We could say, once the contract is signed, the terms are set in stone. Once the contract is signed, the terms are set in stone. And this describes terms of a contract that cannot be altered, they cannot be changed after the contract is signed. So once the contract is signed, the terms of the contract are set in stone. So let's have a look at a couple of phrases for perhaps an IELTS exam and another everyday conversation. In an IELTS writing task, you might describe rules or decisions that are final. For example, the company policy is set in stone and cannot be easily changed. The company policy is set in stone and cannot be easily changed. And this shows the examiner you can describe something that is unchangeable. You cannot change it. It is set in stone. So the company policy is set in stone and cannot be easily changed. In everyday conversations, you might talk about plans or rules that are fixed. You could say, we agreed on the terms and now they're set in stone. We agreed on the terms and now they're set in stone. So using this phrase not only makes your English sound really more natural, but also adds a strong and definite, a sure tone to your language. So let's have a look at a couple of synonyms and antonyms to compare. Synonyms or similar expressions for set in stone might include unchangeable and fixed. They're very, very similar, but set in stone adds a much more visual and idiomatic expression of something that is permanent. Antonyms, on the other hand, the opposites, might include phrases like flexible or subject to change. And these expressions describe situations where they are not yet final. They can be changed. They are not set in stone. So there I have it. Next time you want to describe something unchangeable, remember to say it's set in stone. It's a great way to impress your listeners and add some flair to your language. Have you ever gone out to make sure that something succeeds? That's when you pull out all the stops. So we're going to look at a very energetic idiom, to pull out all the stops. Have you ever made every possible effort to achieve something? Every possible effort. That's when you've pulled out all the stops. You've done everything possible to succeed. You've pulled out all the stops. And the idiom is perfect for describing situations where maximum effort is applied. Let's have a look at a couple of examples. Imagine organising an important event, maybe a party or a wedding, etc. You could say, they pulled out all the stops to ensure the event was a success. They pulled out all the stops to make sure the event was a success. And this describes every resource and effort to make the event successful. They did everything they can. They pulled out all the stops to make the event successful. So another example could be about preparing for exams. When preparing for her final exams, she pulled out all the stops to achieve top marks. When preparing for her exams, she did everything she could. She put maximum effort. She pulled out all the stops to achieve top marks. And this will indicate that she made every effort to excel in her exams, to pass the exams. So when preparing for her final exams, she pulled out all the stops to achieve top marks. So how else can we use this idiom? Maybe in an IELTS exam. In an IELTS speaking task, you might have to describe making maximum effort. For example, we pulled out all the stops to complete the project on time. We pulled out all the stops to complete the project on time. And this will show the examiner you can describe putting in great effort, doing everything you can to succeed. We pulled out all the stops to complete the project on time. And in everyday conversations, you might talk about doing something or doing everything possible you can do to succeed. You could say, they pulled out all the stops to make their wedding day perfect. They pulled out all the stops to make their wedding day perfect. So using this idiom not only makes your English sound more natural, but also adds a really energetic and enthusiastic touch to your language. So what synonyms and antonyms can we use? Well, synonyms or similar expressions might be to make every effort, to go all out. Now these are very similar to pull out all the stops, but pull out all the stops adds a much more idiomatic and enthusiastic expression. The opposites, the antonyms, might include phrases like to hold back or to do the bare minimum. And obviously these expressions describe situations where the effort is limited or nothing. So there we have it. Next time you want to describe making every possible effort to succeed, remember you're saying, I'm pulling out all the stops. Excellent way to throw it into your conversations and really add some colour to your English skills. If you've got something exciting coming up soon, then it's just around the corner. Today we're going to look at a very timely phrase, around the corner. Have you ever looked forward to something that's about to happen soon? If so, that thing is just around the corner. Just around the corner, it's a perfect phrase or a perfect idiom for describing events that are imminent or almost immediate. Let's have a look at a couple of examples. Imagine the holiday season is approaching. Holiday season's becoming closer. You could say, with the holidays around the corner, everyone is getting into the festive spirit. With the holidays around the corner, everyone is getting into the festive spirit. And this means that the holidays are happening very soon and everyone is in a good mood. They are excited for the holidays. With the holidays around the corner, everyone is getting into the festive spirit. Another example is about New Year. The New Year is just around the corner and so many people are making new resolutions. The New Year is around the corner and so many people are making resolutions. And this indicates that New Year is imminent. New Year is happening very, very soon. And many people are making resolutions. A resolution is, a New Year resolution, you probably know, is to promise yourself that you're going to do something to make yourself better. It's a New Year resolution. So let's have a look at how we can use this in IELTS. In an IELTS speaking task, you might describe something that's about to happen soon. For example, the deadline is just around the corner, so we need to finalise the work. The deadline is just around the corner, so we need to finalise the work. And this will show the examiner that you can describe events that are happening soon, that events are imminent. The deadline is happening soon, it's just around the corner, so we need to finalise the work. We need to complete the work. And in everyday conversations, you might talk about upcoming events. You could say, summer is just around the corner. I cannot wait for the sunshine. 100%. Summer is just around the corner. It's going to happen soon. I can't wait for the sunshine. So using this phrase not only makes your English sound much more natural, but also adds a lively touch to your language. So let's have a look at some synonyms and some antonyms. Synonyms or similar expressions for around the corner. It might include coming soon or imminent. And they're very, very similar, but around the corner adds a much more visual and idiomatic expression. On the other hand, we've got antonyms, the opposites, might include phrases like far off or a long way away. And obviously these expressions describe events that are not happening soon. They're far off, they're a long way away. So next time you want to describe something that is about to happen, remember to say it's around the corner. Great way to impress listeners and add some flair to your English skills. So there we have it for 5 Lesson Friday for this week. Really hope you've enjoyed it and you've picked out or learned some new expressions and how to use them. It's very important how to use them correctly. If you want to practice, you can leave some comments on the socials and I'm more than happy to check them for you. If you have any questions or any topics you want me to include, then get in touch. Leave a comment and I'm more than happy to consider it. Remember to head along to fluesl.com, fluesl.com, and you can take some practice activities and practice quizzes just to test your knowledge and understanding of these topics on 5 Lesson Friday. So there we have it. My name's Ken. Look forward to seeing you on the next 5 Lesson Friday. Bye for now.